Hello. I thought today I'd do a little talk about delirium tremens. This is something that affects quite a few people. There's a certain percentage with addicts who it affects. I was one of them. And it's something just not known about addiction to do with alcohol. I've had people contact me saying, what is delirium tremens? It's a very, very scary thing that happens if your body is dependent on alcohol. And it basically just, if it doesn't have enough, it starts to freak out and shut down basically your body. I think it's a lot to do with vitamins deficiency and the amount of alcohol you're consuming and how much your body is used to. And then when you stop that, this is why going cold turkey at home, if you're bodily dependent, is very dangerous. Basically, I experienced it the first time. It's in my writings that I've put on my Patreon page, which is on my homepage on Instagram. Just click the link, and I've sort of gone into detail about the things I experienced. But basically, it started with sort of feeling itchy in bed, feeling like I had bed bugs. I remember changing my sheets loads in the middle of the night, like freaking out. And I remember my mum, I kind of got her to sit with me because I was so scared. And I was like hearing like Russian military music coming out of my fan. It was bizarre. It was like marching army music, and it was coming from my fan. And I was in bed and I was just freaking out. I was like, okay, I finally lost it. I was like, kind of thought this would happen at some point, but I didn't think it would happen like this. And I was just lying in bed and I was trying to get sleep. I hadn't slept for days, and I just started seeing beams of light coming through the blinds of my room. Really fluorescent, sort of pink and blue and stuff, just floating in like that. And I started freaking out, and I was saying to my mum, I can see lights coming through the room, I can see this happening. And she was like, okay, it'll be all right and stuff like that. She kind of tried to keep me calm at the time. But then I started hearing knocking at the windows. I could see faces of people at my window doing this, telling me to come outside. And it was as real as talking to someone in real life. It was that real. It was terrifying. And I kind of freaked out and was running around the house kind of just panicking. And then I could hear sort of like a noise. But it would sound like it was coming from hundreds of people, like a chant almost. And I went to the top of the stairs in my old house and looked out the window, and I could see 200, 300 odd people coming down around the corner of my road, all dressed in black hoods with torches, approaching the house basically, all making this noise. At which point I freaked out, I think I grabbed a knife from the kitchen and went to run outside and stuff like that. And my mum obviously was terrified at this point. She was like, right, okay, it's all right, let's get you somewhere safe, get your coat on, let's go. And I was in my state of mind, I honestly didn't know where I was or what I was doing. I was just so terrified of what was going on. So I put on my coat, we got in the car, and on the way to the what I later found out was a hospital, I was looking at my hands, and my hands were changing, like the pigments in my skin were changing colour. I was looking in the mirror in the car, and I could see my teeth falling out and new teeth kind of pushing themselves through. I could see my nose changing shape. It was like I was becoming someone else. And at this point, I was starting to hear voices sort of telling me that basically I was going to be taken off Earth with my mum, and we had to say goodbye to people in my family before we leave. And we got to hospital. I didn't realise we were I kind of knew we were at hospital, but at the same time I was like, these people can help. These people can stop these people. Like, I'll be safe here. So I was just like in a room while my mum and the doctor were outside the room, kind of watching me in the room, and I was just like talking. I was up against the wall like this, and I remember it so clearly as there being a mirror, and me looking in this mirror, and my jaw was like snapping and changing shape. My hair was falling out, and I was growing like new, different hair. it was like I could hear this voice telling me that we were going to leave Earth and stuff. It was in like the corner of the room, so I was kind of in the corner going like listening to it. And this went on for a while, and eventually the doctors kind of came in with my mum. My mum sat down and just broke the news to me, basically, that everything I was experiencing was in my head. It's not real. And I kind of found out it was due to the alcohol, which just blew my mind, because I knew that if you take like LSD or mushrooms or something, you might hallucinate. I didn't know it could happen through alcohol withdrawal. And this was DTs. This is what the DTs was doing to me, because when you have DTs, quite a common thing is to hallucinate, and to have audible hallucinations and visual hallucinations. This has always kind of been a thing for me, that when that's happened, because it has happened to me a few times in the past when I was drinking, I would automatically go to my mum and go, right, got to go to hospital, I'm hallucinating. But that time in hospital, I was actually in there for, I think it was 3 or 4 days, and the whole time I was hallucinating. I was seeing what I thought were ghosts in the corridors, and one particular ghost kind of followed me up to my room, sat by my bed, held my hand, and it felt cold when she held my hand. It was just, it made me kind of question a lot, really. Now, I know these were hallucinations, I know that, but just because it, you know, a doctor says it's not real doesn't mean it's not real to you. Anyway, getting off subject. It's one of these things that alcoholics need to be aware of, because it is so fucking dangerous. It can lead in death, or lead to death if you don't have it treated, because it can, other things you can get whilst experiencing DTs are seizures, extremely high heart rate, get really hot that you can't cool down, stuff like this. It's so dangerous. And if there are any addicts out there and you experience this, please, for me and for yourself, go to the hospital or call an ambulance or something, because that is dangerous, and it isn't like something that will just clear itself up. You need to come off alcohol. If you're that bodily dependent, this is, and if you're an addict, you need to come off alcohol in a controlled environment. You can't do it on your own. Now, this isn't to say you can't stop drinking on your own. You can, absolutely, that can happen. But I'm talking about if you're so far along and you're so bodily dependent that you're experiencing these things. That's the only time I'm saying you can't do it on your own. You need to go to the hospital, and you need to explain to them that you're experiencing delirium tremens and you need help. Yeah, I just thought I'd sort of do a little video on that today. If anyone has any questions, please DM. And as I say, this is information that comes from my own experience. It's not gospel, and it's just, you know, I got the help I needed, and I was very lucky. And I hope if anyone experiences this on the outside, that you'll be as lucky as me. And yeah, just stay safe. Everyone stay safe. Loads of love.